So there's this obscure corner of the internet where you can leave a single comment and drastically alter California's plan to fight climate change for the better. To learn more about it, you gotta come join me on the floor. So there's this thing called the Scoping Plan, which is essentially California's plan to get to zero emissions by 2045. That's right, we've got a plan. The Scoping Plan is this 200-page document put together by CARB after getting feedback from experts and community, and it's actually a pretty interesting read if you're into that sort of thing. But essentially, it's a timeline where certain technologies and energy sources are phased out by certain deadlines, and other energy sources and technologies are introduced and broadened by a certain deadline. And CARB just recently published their 2022 draft of the Scoping Plan for everyone to read, and it is currently available for public comment. And well, we have some notes. Okay, so the current Scoping Plan has natural gas and oil extraction being phased out by 2045, and they don't really have a firm timeline as to when oil refining is phased out. To meet our climate goals, we need natural gas and oil extraction to be phased out around 2035, and we need a firm managed timeline as to when we phase out oil refining so it's gone by 2045. The current draft of the Scoping Plan also calls for the adding of 10 gigawatts of new natural gas energy sources. Now, in a plan where we're trying to get to zero emissions by 2045, we think that the building of fossil fuel power sources, which cause emissions, is moving backwards a little bit, especially when that money can be invested in renewable energy sources and storage and help us get to zero faster. So one of the most concerning things about this draft Scoping Plan is that it relies super heavily on unproven, theoretical carbon capture technology. You see, CARB's plan relies on California doing 100 million metric tons of direct air carbon capture that's pulling carbon out of the air, 100 million metric tons by 2045. Now, when you consider that the whole globe did just 0.01 million metric tons of carbon removal in 2022, this claim begins to seem like a big gamble or reach, especially when there are proven methods of carbon removal. These are things like tree planting, composting, soil regeneration. All these methods pull carbon out of the air in ways that we have seen and demonstrated before. So we believe that this money in the Scoping Plan should be invested into those technologies. Okay, so finally, building electrification. The current Scoping Plan has 80% of all new appliances having to be electric by 2030. Now, we believe we can push this number and that California would be ready for 100% of all new appliances to be electric by 2030. So the current Scoping Plan it's good, don't get me wrong, but we just see so many ways that it could be better, more aggressive, more equitable, and if you want it to look a little something more like we were talking about today, you've gotta let CARB know how you feel. The draft Scoping Plan that we've been talking about here has an open public comment period for California citizens until June 24th. We even have a script to help you out that summarizes all the points we've talked about here, and it'll be in the link or the comments or the side. Be sure to subscribe to Envirovoters if you liked hearing about this and want to hear about California climate legislation and how you can maximize your impact in the climate crisis. I'm Jason Smith, and I gotta clean this up before my roommate gets here. Okay, I guess I'll just sweep it up. Okay, all right.